Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to AriesEDC. Picking up on the monthly builds. We're talking Damascus. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then stop. You need to go back because you've missed a lot. You've missed a lot. So you got to subscribe, but you got to go back and check it out because what I'm about to share with you, you will have no idea what I'm talking about thus far. So, I have the 5 Damascus builds. The creep update on that is done. I've sharpened it and I made the sheath for it. It's done. I even put a lanyard on it. So, it's set up to be net carry, so I'm not going to put a loop on it, but I'm going to make it a pretty good deal too. The spike is in my new press getting Kydex sheath done. So, it's pressing right now. We'll go check on that here in a second. But I am out here working on the 2 Cardinals, the Cardinal XL and the Cardinal Pink and Pink. And the Crow I'm going to be working on as well. The last time we left, I had made handle scales for these and I was gluing them all up and doing that. Well, I've done it and I've just spent an afternoon cleaning them up, cutting them out, and getting them prepped for glue up. The problem is, I wanted a day where I could just come out and work. So I didn't film any of it, so don't get mad. But I'm gonna share with you guys what I've done so far. So, the Cardinal XL. Number 1, the blades are taped up so I can protect them. Number 2, they are looking stinking cool. So, we have the Jute Micarta, the Jupiter, Juniper, and the Jumagem. Just a reminder. So that is going to polish up all really, really well. I've already smoothed the fronts out and I've pretty much got it all ready for glue up. If I don't break it in the meantime. So this is why I do tabletop and I don't do it this way. But anyway, I have, I'm holding pins, I'm holding scales, I'm losing everything. So that one is looking good, and that one is ready for glue up. I dropped the pin. I don't want to lose that. And then the Cardinal, this is going to be pretty stinking cool. I hope you guys like this. Boom. So we have, this is like the Goddess Kieranite, which is like brown. We have the Crystal White Kieranite, and then I have this Pearl Turquoise Kieranite with the G10. It's going to look pretty stinking cool with the white liners. These white pins, I just did 2 pins in the lanyard hole and the 1 white pin, and that's all it's going to be. So you could see kind of how it all matched up really well. Once it gets glued up and everything, it's going to be all perfect. Like, I'm going to move that around so it's all absolutely perfect and horizontal, but that's going to look pretty cool, I think. Little pop of turquoise in there. It's going to be pretty killer. So those 2 are ready for cleanup or glue up. I've already done everything on them and they're ready for glue up. But I also got all the material in to do the Crow. So let's go take a look at that and take a look at the spike. All right, so these are the materials for the Crow. So here's the Crow all taped up, ready to start building the scales. So I have to build the scales just like I did for these 2 that we were just talking about. So basically I have to cut all this material up, glue it all together, and get it ready so that I can start doing the holes and all the things that I did for those other knives. So what am I doing? We're going to do, again, Desert Ironwood. This came in the last video. Looks really good, very attractive, and I can't wait to see that on there. And I'm going to do a turquoise inlay. So you're going to have that Desert Ironwood with a little strip of the inlay. And just like I did for the inlay on this, I'm going to have G10 on either side. But, so I'm going to do white G10, so you're going to have the wood white G10, But then I'm going to do a black linen micarta liner, or like little inlay like this. So it's going to be the wood, the white, the black. There's going to be white on this side. Then there's going to be the turquoise. And then I'm going to do this again on the other side of the turquoise. So it's going to be basically a lot of pieces. So I have to cut all of these things out. So basically it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pieces. It's a 20-piece construction. So each scale on either side is going to have 10 pieces. So you're going to have the liner, and on top of the liner, you're going to have the 2 pieces of wood, the 1 piece of turquoise, the 4 pieces of G10, the 2 pieces of micarta. So it's a lot to do. Once you put it all together, it doesn't look like a lot, but it actually ends up being a lot of pieces. Like even these, it seems simple, but you have the liner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, not including pins. So that's 12 pieces on either side just for that. So you have to take all that into consideration. So what I need to do is cut all this out and get all this prepped so that I can get the crow scales glued up. And I want to glue these up at the same time I do glue these up, but I don't know. I might just glue these up first and then shape those handles once I'm done doing everything else. I also pressed the spike out like I told you guys. So the spike was pressed. We're going to use this raptor skin Kydex, which I think is going to go really well. So that was a really good press on the new press again. So I have to do the sheath on this too. So much to do, so many things. Oh, by the way, I talked about it. Here's the creep. The Kydex came out pretty good. Got a nice little edge on this guy and nice lanyard. So the creep is completed. It is done and looking pretty stinking good. It's in. There is a little bit of rattle in the sheath, but it's not gonna fall out. I mean, that is not coming out whatsoever. It's just, it's skeletonized, so it makes it that much harder to make that so perfect. And you can set it up for a neck carry and it'll be a perfect little neck knife for somebody one day, hopefully very soon. But I'm gonna try to figure out my timeline. I need to figure this out. So, all right, I need to go figure this out. Well, all right, guys, I decided I couldn't just sit here and look at these. I decided to glue them up. So the Cardinal XL is glued up and everything looks pretty stinking good. I was having some issues with all the pieces sticking together, but it seems like everything's pretty solid now, so I'm pretty happy with that. And this one with all the multiple pieces of construction looks like everything lined up perfectly, so I'm really happy with the way that that looks too. So this one's going to be nice and shiny, that is for sure, with all the Kieranite on it. So I'm excited about getting this shaped up and looking good. So I'm at a good spot on these two. So I think what I would like to do is get all that material cut out for the crow, and so I could build the scales. Then I can glue up those scales and get those ready to get to this point. And then hopefully maybe by Friday's live stream this week, I can just work on shaping handles. But I would like to get to that. I also have this I need to do. I need to get the sheath done, which I know the sheath won't take an extreme amount of time to get that cut and shaped and everything else and get it looking good. Because I would like to get the spike done by Friday as well, since that person who's getting this might be joining us for that live stream. So he might be coming by to pick this up, and he doesn't know it yet. But yeah, spike's looking good. I oiled that handle up a little bit more, so it's looking really good. I'm keeping the tape on until the sheath is done, and then all I have to do is sharpen this, and it is done. So we're getting there, but I think the next step is cutting out all that material for the crow. So I got to cut it all out and get everything flattened off. It is a ton of work.
Well, all right. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. No, I tried to videotape more, and I guess I didn't hit the record button. So sorry, guys. I did take these all to the grinder and kind of square everything off to where it was flush. So this gives you a little idea of what we're looking at. We have the desert ironwood, G10, and micarta with the turquoise, and then again G10 and micarta. So I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit. You can see right there. So you have like the micarta, the G10, and you're gonna see like the grain of the micarta. Once I polish it and everything, you're gonna kind of see, you're gonna see those layers. So it's going to look kind of cool once it's all polished up. So we're looking kind of good, I think. I need to inspect everything and make sure everything is lining up properly. I'm only one concern. Here's the knife, and my only concern is the pin placement. So this is going to be the lanyard hole. Here's a pin, and here's a pin. And I kind of laid this out where this pin is going to be right behind the inlay. So I think it's going to work out. We're going to use brass pins, but I can't really lay it on top because it's just kind of placed there. But I think we're going to be okay, but it's going to be right there. But I can't do anything until I get this all glued up, which terrifies the heck out of me because that's a lot of moving parts, and the more moving parts, the more that will go wrong. I really need to make sure that these are exactly the same. It looks like I got them pretty dead on the same, because if these are off by a little bit, then when I go to glue them together, guess what? It's not gonna be square, and I won't be able to even up and do that. So a lot of work, a lot of placing, so I better try to figure this out. All right, guys, I got this glued up, and I'm hoping there's no issues. That once you get to this stage, there's nothing else I could do but say a little prayer to make sure everything turns out the way that it's supposed to. Everything looks pretty good, so I gotta let this all dry without hitting it. I gotta let this all dry and then check back in the morning to see how it goes. Also, while I did that, I knocked out the sheath pretty quick, so the spike now has its sheath. So pretty happy with the way that turned out. It's pretty good. So I just need to polish the edges, and then this one, all that's left is to sharpen it. Oh man, I really hope this person likes it. I don't see why he wouldn't, but you never know. You know, I never know. So
time to, I need to go polish this, and maybe I'll get to sharpening this here coming soon. But I'm really excited about checking these in the morning because I'm getting ready to go to bed. I am tired, and feel like I've been burning the candle at both ends on this. But I'm trying to get all of these Damascus builds done before the March builds come back, because at this rate, I'm not going to get them back for at least another week, which means that the April builds are going to get done in March, and the March builds are going to get done in April. Well, I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. All right, guys, here we are. We are somewhat successful with the glue up. They're looking pretty good. Yeah, they look like a mess right now. So unfortunately, I have to cut all this down and get this all evened out. The wood is thicker than the inlay, so I have to get everything to the thickness of the inlay. So I guess time to throw this on the grinder, and hopefully it all stays together. That's always the plan. Alright, so I got these pretty flat and looking pretty stinking good. So before I get too ahead of myself, while they are still in full mode, by the way, are you starting to get the look of what is going to be happening here with that micarta and G10 and turquoise? Once that's all polished up and looking good, this is going to be really good stuff. All right, so I got it pretty even, just got a little tweaking to do here. So now I need to actually tape this together, and then we have to I have to glue, or no, I have to drill. We got to drill the holes for the pins. Just a reminder, we're going to do brass pins and tubes. Oh, do I have to cut that? Oh, I still have to cut. No, wait, I did. Where did they go? Oh, man. All right, so I know I cut brass pins and tubes the other day. Oh, there they are. Jeez, losing my mind. Okay, so brass pins, tubes, we're good. So I need to drill the holes to line all these up. Don't mind my mask floating in your face, sorry. Wow, he's such a professional. And so I'm going to tape this up even on both sides, and then we're going to mark our holes for this. Reminder, I was a little concerned with this hole, and I still am. I need to make sure that and that. Okay, so that's going to be right behind there. So I think that's going to be pretty good. All right, I'm happy with that. So we got plenty of material here to work with. So that's going to look pretty good. Cool, I'm happy with that. All right, excellent. I'm gonna line this up, drill some holes, and we'll come back. All right, guys, that is always the most hairy thing to do, because once the holes are there, they're there, and there's not much you can do about it once those holes are drilled. But the placement of that pin is not bad. Looks like it's going to work out. Looks like we got plenty of material to work with, and we are going to be looking really, really good. So let's take this apart.
So now I kind of have to hope and pray that everything stays together, because not only do I have to grind it, now I have to cut it up. No pressure. So literally I'm gonna have to draw this out and then cut out all the excess to where I can get it to the point where we can glue it up and get it to this point. So many steps, so many things to do. Well, I kind of knew this was going to happen. I need to figure out, I thought the wood had enough grain and stuff on the bottom side between that and the liner to avoid this, but you know what, it happens. Everything kind of fell apart once it did that. What's fun is this is like completely glued up. So what I've done is I drilled some holes on the back side and roughed it up a little bit. So I'm gonna have to go clean these up, and then we're gonna try to glue them up again. Again, I hit some holes in there on that side, so the glue has some place to go. So hopefully this time it'll stick. The problem is, not that this is a major deal because you won't see it, but I did already drill the holes, so I gotta match up all these holes. This one's looking weird. I'm just noticing that that one's kind of bowed out. I wonder what happened there. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, or just make a bigger hole. It's really not the big deal because you won't see that. So you're not gonna see any of that. So I'm not worried about it. I want to look at the liner, make sure it's like this side didn't do it. Look, nice and smooth. All right, well, let me go. I'm gonna have to whip up some glue and clean these up and do this all over again. Fun times. But on the flip side, I've started cleaning up these. Oh yeah, they're gonna look good. I have the live stream coming up tomorrow as I'm filming this, and I want to do the handles on the live stream. Even if it's just handwork, I kind of want to get these looking good. What do you guys think of that? I think that's gonna look pretty stinking cool once it is glued up. And then I started doing this one. I obviously have a lot to do, but I think that is gonna look nice, classic. That Juma Gem, yes, I said Juma Gem, and the Jute Micarta together, it's gonna look pretty stinking good. We're looking forward to finishing these up, because the other ones are gonna come back at some point in time. All right, I am re-gluing the scales for the crow. So let's see, it's somewhat dry, but re-gluing these up, hopefully this will still work. I don't know if it doesn't work. So I tried to use really thin liners for this. I didn't want thin liners, but if I have to add a thick liner, maybe I could do a white. I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out, guys. I'll figure it out. But I also have the live stream today, and I have plenty to work on because I have the Cardinal, which looks pretty good. So we got to shape up that, or actually that's the XL, Cardinal XL, and then the Cardinal, which needs to get done as well. So I have these two knives that I can shape these handles, and if that's not enough work, then these should be dry by the time I'm done with those two, and then I can get to work back on the crow handles. So it's gonna be pretty stinking cool, but that will be on the next video. I'll catch you guys up after the live stream, and we'll see how much of this I get done, and we'll start another video on the progression of the Damascus builds. Thank you guys so much for watching and staying on top of everything that's going on here with AriesEDC and everything that I'm doing. But I really appreciate you guys. Hopefully the next time you see these, they'll have fully shaped handles.
pretty stinking awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, or not. Again, the choice is always